From the Counterculture-Wise studio, it's CCW News with anchor cat Maximilian von Riegelbieser.
Thank you, Larry. We start off tonight's news with this stunning video out of Syria, wherever that is, of the bombing of the Kurds by the Turks, provided by ABC News. The question on America's mind must be, why would a bunch of birds attack cheese so violently? And why would our commander-in-chief remove our armed forces out of Syria, leaving these poor, defenseless pieces of cheese to their doom? This just in. The ABC footage turned out to be a nighttime firepower display from a gun show in Knob Creek, Kentucky from 2 years ago. 1,000 pardons to all of our listeners and viewers. I'm sure it must have been an honest mistake on ABC's part. Maybe the producers were drinking Knob Creek bourbon at the time. Or wild turkey, perhaps. That would be rather fitting, after all. Wait, doesn't bourbon go with cheese? Anyway, on with the rest of the news. The respected British publication The Guardian has issued new style rules as regards the phrases global warming or climate change. Those terms are positively out now. The official new names for this issue are global heating and climate emergency. Here to discuss these exciting name changes is Guardian editor Nana Higgins. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Cat.
It seems that these new names are intended to add a certain urgency to the issue. Am I right in assuming this?
That is correct, Mr. Cat. We are on the verge of an ecological collapse, and we can no longer express it in vague terms or imply that we have time to waste in addressing the issue.
I completely understand. Accuracy is of the utmost importance. It also helps if the new phraseology is catchy. It is in that spirit that I am proposing the following additional changes to your editorial content.
That's very kind, Mr. Cat, but I don't think that—
Think nothing of it, Miss Higgins. I propose that Brexit Remainers be heretofore referred to as the sore losers, the ban of knives called the stab grab, and the censorship on free speech in the UK as business as usual.
I should go now.
Thank you, Nana. And now, with commentary on the recent passing of Congressman Elijah Cummings, here is our correspondent and my beloved sister, Fritzy.
Thank you, Big Brother. This is Fritzina Fluffybottom reporting on the death of the Rat King Elijah Cummings. I wanted to talk about how the Rat King died and how he deserves our respect because rats are so amazing. They are bigger than mice, which makes them easier to catch than mice, and you know how much I love mice. They are also much juicier and yummier than mice. Daddy told me he used to have a rat as a pet and that they are really, really, really smart. I'll bet that the Rat King was the biggest and juiciest and smartest of them all. I heard that he lived in Baltimore, which Mr. Trump says is infested with rats. Yay! Weren't you talking about going there on vacation, Big Brother? I think we should ask Mommy and Daddy to go on a family vacation there with us this summer. What do you think? Maybe Mommy and Daddy will take us to a really, really nice restaurant there and we can have braised rats with hollandaise sauce, or maybe rats au gratin. You know how much I love cheese. That's the best way I know how we can celebrate the Rat King. I wonder how the next Rat King will be elected. Do they have to be from Baltimore, or can they also come from California where the Rat Queen lives right now? Anyway, this is Fritzina Fluffybottom reminding you to always leave the head and tail for your mommy and daddy to let them know you love them. Back to you, Big Brother.
And that wraps it up for this time. Interviews to the Max will return soon. Until then, this is Maximilian von Riegelbieser for Counterculture-Wise News. If it really happens, it's news to us.
This week you were very productive, and Comrade Co. cannot thank you enough for your contribution. You put together 16 bicycles, each of which I was able to sell for $200. So here is your paycheck for $3,200.
Oh, wow, this is amazing. Thank you.
And here's your bill.
My bill?
Well, yes, but don't worry, it's itemized, as we want to be completely transparent here at Comrade Co. You used $1,100 in bicycle parts, so those are deducted. Then $250 for rent based on the space you occupy. Furniture, fixtures, and tools you utilized were bought outright before the switch, so we'll just deduct an even amount per week until that's paid off. If you work here for another 10 years, $228 a week should cover it, provided you never need upgrades. But we can factor those in, should they occur. Your equipment is on a straight-line depreciation method, so that is evenly calculated at $150 per month for the next 10 years.
10 years? But what if I...
Water, electricity, gas, garbage, recycling, maintenance, and cleaning services and supplies were all based on your time present and space occupied. That total came to $96.34. And since we cannot determine exactly how much toilet paper you use or coffee you drink, we just took all daily supplies and divided them by the number of workers. We provided donuts on Monday's meeting and Friday's pizza party factored in as well, so that comes to $29 even.
But I don't even drink coffee.
But you have the ability to drink coffee, yes? Too many of us have the need to drink it, and the caffeinating needs of the many far outweigh the decaf needs of the few. So, from each according to their ability and all.
I guess, but...
Your share of the corporate income taxes comes to $272.59 per week. Then there's your medical, Social Security, FICA, and unemployment insurance, which comes to $279 even. Since the payroll staff has state-of-the-art software, we were able to knock the department down to one part-timer, so your share of their cost is only $27.50 per week.
You mean people are losing their jobs?
Oh, don't worry, they'll be well cared for. Again, from each according... Oh, that reminds me. I forgot the $774.29 unemployed comrade charge.
But that only leaves me with $13.28 to live on.
Well, you should be fine. After all, your rent will be highly subsidized and your food provided by the state. Unfortunately, I will not be able to give you the time off you need to wait in line for it, as all of your coworkers have already quit to do so. Hopefully you have a family member who can wait for you.
You mean I can't even eat? What is the point of me working at all?
Well, I'm afraid you're the only full-timer left, and someone has to produce for the rest of us.
But if I don't get to keep what I earn, and I'm forced to work while others get the fruit of my labors, that's slavery.
Ah, comrade. But at least it's not capitalism.
Thanks? Welcome to Counterculture Wise, a Stormcap production. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts, our guests, and the dog, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of our platforms, our advertisers, or any other dog.
As you listen today, please remember, we are so much more than a podcast. All of our stories we discuss are linked in our show notes on counterculturewise.com. Visit there for commentary, guest photos and links, animations, and fun merchandise.
If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on our show, contact us via our website. You can also follow us on Twitter, Gab, Instagram, Facebook, and all over social media, where we'll post memes, cat pics, and commentary that gets us booted off on a regular basis.
If you're listening live, be sure to join our chat on Spreaker. If you're listening dead, please stop voting Democrat, but enjoy the show anyway. And a fine, beautiful summer day to you all today. Welcome to the first month of summer.
Yay.
We have had some weather, let me tell you.
Every
Here
type
deep
of
in the
it
heart
in the
Texas,
last
we
48
get everything.
hours.
everything you can possibly imagine, sometimes all at once. Well, welcome everybody to Counterculture Wise. We have such a show put together for you today. So much fun, so many things to talk about. We're back from our mini vacay down in the great city of Houston, where I got to meet up with my baby sister and my niece and nephew. Congratulations.
Hi, Sheila. Hi, Noah.
Congratulations and for graduating my little nephew, all grown up. And got to meet some new family members and just really had a good time. Took the dogs to one of the best dog parks I've been to since Washington
Yeah, it was
State.
amazing.
Yeah, had a lot of fun, splashed around in the lake, played with other doggies, and really had a fun time.
Texas is full of really nice parks.
It really is. I love it here. I love it here. I don't love the ants, and I don't love the bugs, but I guess ants count as bugs, but ants are their own.
Ants are their own species of bug, though.
They're flesh-eating ants. They're flesh-eating ants, people.
They're not the benign ones that go up on your kitchen counter and take away your apples.
And
no,
eat your sugar. No, these will eat your flesh. So yeah, don't love those. But other than that, I love the people. Even love the glorious thunder and lightning storms that we have.
There's
Max,
nothing
not
like
so
him
much.
here.
He's not.
Yeah,
so
Max
much
was
into them.
freaked out.
Yeah, but he's better now. He's
Please,
sitting
dear mother, make it stop!
here. Okay, Max is sitting on his throne here with us, so you might hear him from time to time as he watches only, right, Max? Yeah, and well, I guess I should introduce myself. Hello, everybody.
Why don't you do that?
I am your hostess with the mostest, Ms. Melanie Hope, and here with my best friend, happens to be my co-host, even married the darn guy.
I don't get that. I still don't get that.
I don't either. Actor, author, photographer, writer, please welcome Mr. James Mona. Oh, wait,
What?
there's one other thing he is.
What?
My sweet Babu, Mr. James Mona.
Oh, you're bald, Babu.
Okay, well, bald. Yeah, you're bald.
I'm bald. Let's face it, okay?
You got the treatment
After years
today.
and years of trying to convince myself that I could still grow my hair out,
You can grow it out all right.
it's
Just not in any
falling out.
direction that
It's
should be
like I'm
grown.
Friar Tuck, and I was done with it. So went to my barber. He actually usually doesn't work Sunday, but he just came in and did my hair. He's really a nice guy. If you're in the Waco area, go to Waco Fades. Look for a guy named Lee. He
Not a
will
sponsor, but
treat
you
you
take
right.
them in a heartbeat.
All right. So it's become custom to tell a bad joke at the beginning of the show, and
Okay.
this week should be no exception.
All right.
Where do you learn how to make ice cream?
Oh boy. Where do I learn how to make ice cream? I'm sure a creamery is not the answer.
Mm-mm.
Frozen cows?
No.
Okay. Where do you learn how to make ice cream?
At Sunday school, of course.
Wait, that's not the one I wanted.
Either one works.
We really need a producer.
We do.
I
If you're willing to put up with our crap, come on down and be a...
Speaking of crap, if you're listening live or if you're listening elsewhere, hopefully you're listening alive. As we said, if you're listening dead, please stop voting Democrat. But if you're listening live, join us in the chat here on Spreaker.com. You can find us. Our live link is out on all of our social media. If you're not listening live and you're listening on iHeartRadio or whatever Apple's calling themselves this week, or Spotify, or any of the other fun and awesome places that you can find amazing podcasts like ours, drop everything.
Ha ha, I was wearing my helmet. Unfortunately, they hit my feet. Ow.
Probably should have put shoes on for that one.
Ow.
Oh, I never say that to anybody.
No, never. That's a first.
Drop everything and hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, spread the love, share the news, and for goodness sake, go to counterculturewise.com, see all the fun things we have there. Every story we talk about is linked, archived, of course, so if you don't believe some of the crazy stuff we talk about, we brought the receipts. We also post extra things there every now and then, blog posts, videos that we post elsewhere. Of course, the holy crap, this is actually happening segment that is kind of on YouTube, but mostly not. You can see the live link there for the video for that, and we have some more animations and all kinds of fun things coming up. So head on over to counterculturewise.com, support our show, buy our crap, and if we offend you in any way, we want to hear from you, because we here at Counterculturewise, we're radio with heart in mind, as you can see from our logo, and we very much want to hear how we can help become a better show. So if you find yourself offended, upended, rear-ended, whatever ended, head on over to counterculturewise.com, click on that link. That is the ID 10T form. Fill it out, and we will give it the attention it deserves, sometimes even live on air.
That's true.
Yes.
We've done so.
We are also always interested in guests. We have some amazing
Oh
guests coming
God,
up.
the
We've
next
actually got
two we have lined
interviews
up. Oh
scheduled,
my.
for the next couple
Oh my,
of
oh
weeks.
my, oh my.
We've got an author. We've got a musician, an insanely talented woman who just
you won't
name
believe.
it and she probably does it.
Yeah.
I think she might even juggle. Anyways, we have a couple
Oh,
of
I
amazing.
didn't ask her that.
Well, she's from Vegas. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
So do stay tuned for our long-form interviews that we do so much enjoy, and we do post those separately. Our last one with Marnie was great fun, so check that out on all the places that you can find interviews that don't offend the censors on the screw tubes, but also on our website and BitChute and Rumble, and I would love to see everybody on Rumble. And someday we'll learn how to broadcast live there as well. We're old. We're learning. We'll get there. Okay. Well, we like to start on a high note, and then we always end up talking about somebody who died.
Yeah. Well, this is not a household name. Her name was Cynthia Weil. I'm sorry, I don't remember, but it's spelled Weil.
I'm sure it's Wheel.
She is was a lyricist who wrote songs with her husband, Barry Mann, not to be confused with Barry Manilow. She wrote the following lines. I'm going to sing a couple of them. You never close your eyes anymore. She wrote that. She also wrote...
You've lost that love and feeling. You can't start off all sexy, and not,
Okay, well...
And not continue. That song gets chicks, dude. You got to follow through, man.
It worked for Maverick and Goose, didn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway. I'll just say some of the names. On Broadway for the Drifters.
Really?
Walking in the Rain. And one of my very favorite classic rock songs, We've Got to Get Out of This Place by the Animals.
Really? They wrote that
They
one?
wrote that. I'm Gonna Be Strong for Gene Pitney. I Just Can't Help Believin', which was a hit for B.J. Thomas, and Elvis Presley made it a regular part of his show for several years. So great songs, among others. So she was in the Brill.
I Believe, right?
Pardon me?
That's a different song from I Believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Although he sang that one too.
I do love that song.
Yeah, so they were part of the Brill Building songwriters, like including Jerry Goffin and Carole King, Neil Sedaka. They were all part of that New York songwriters club, and they married she married Barry in 1961, and they were still together at the time of her death.
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The first song they wrote together, Bless You, made the top 20, sung by the 17-year-old guy named Tony Orlando.
Oh, he
So,
was
I mean,
that young when he started?
Yeah, that was...
No wonder he was such a good-looking dude. He was like a baby. Wait, that came out wrong.
That's okay, honey. That's okay.
We said we were going to celebrate this month by not mentioning it, and here I'm already...
Well, you're already going, who cares? So, yeah, she's gone, but her music, the songs that she co-wrote will definitely live on.
Yeah.
Huge fan of the Righteous Brothers. I regret that we didn't go see their show when we lived in Vegas.
I regret that I didn't know they had a show when we lived in Vegas.
Yeah, well, they did.
Unfortunately, doing what we do, we very many times got to see the Self-Righteous Brothers, so...
Yeah, well. We got a lot of self-righteous brothers around here.
So, my sexy, sexy beast.
Yes,
Tell me a
Lovey.
little bit about this thing that apparently you want to go live talking about, so...
I don't know why. I
Jim
just,
likes to
I think
humiliate
it
himself on
humanizes
live radio.
I just several years ago, I went in for a sleep study, and they said
Not
you
at all
need
at the urging of his wife, who hadn't gotten a night's sleep in ever.
yeah, and they said, well, you could really use a CPAP machine, and I thought, okay, big contraption. I look like Darth freaking Vader with this thing going. Luke, I am, the bit. So and I never did. I never did do it. So fast forward to about a month ago, I got a sleep study, and they once again recommended it. This time I got it. It's not a cheap contraption, but I will tell you one thing: it is so compact, and I mean, Melanie will attest to the fact that as long as I'm wearing it properly and it's not leaking air all over the place. The first night was such a battle because they gave me two different types of masks to wear. And the first one, I despised it. I had it on for 10 minutes and said, I'm not doing this. I'll try the other one tomorrow. And that was the same day that this thing has Bluetooth. It can be monitored from the VA's medical center, and they can adjust the air pressure and all of that remotely.
So I wouldn't piss them off because they could adjust it, and I'd wake up to you with a blue face and a machine taking over the house.
Starting to suck my brains out, yeah.
Starving to death, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I decided I wanted to talk about it, but it's part of an overall plan I have to improve my health. Because I'll tell you something. The first night that I used it all night, I was great. And then, but the dogs and cats woke me up much earlier than necessary because it was a Saturday. So I decided to go back to sleep on the couch. I didn't have the CPAP with me, and by the time I woke back up, a few hours later, I felt like garbage. I've been snoring. I black. Today I didn't do that. I did take a nap, but I put the CPAP back on. And I'm telling you, I wish I had done it several years ago. I really do. There's no shame in it. I mean, nobody would even know except for the fact that I'm talking about it on the radio that I have this stupid thing on.
Hey guys, guess what?
So I am out to make CPAP sexy again.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Sexy and
But
CPAP. Ooh, la, la.
CPAPs really can't. They're just
I
not
need
sexy.
to really train myself to stop calling it a pap smear because I get the two confused.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need
It's like 3 o'clock
one.
in the morning. I'm like, Jim, your pap smear is leaking. And God let him. He's like, adjusts it and goes back to sleep.
You actually said that? Yes. Oh, God.
Yeah. Just like
Your Pappy Parker is on. Oh, heavens.
Okay, well, once again, Congress basically voted to not do their job. I mean, they literally have one job, and they continually vote to not do it, collectively not do it. And the wussy, whiny, worthless, useless GOP, as usual, as predicted, as we all knew they would, and yet you still keep voting for these losers anyway, of course, caved in to some ridiculous non-budget that, seriously, folks, you have one job, okay? You're supposed to be in charge of the purse. This is not a bag of holding. You cannot, props to my nerd friends out there, you cannot continuously just add and add and add to it and expect it to take as much infinitely as possible. You are supposed to make and stick to a budget. That is your job. That is your
When was the last time we had
job.
a budget? I mean, a balanced budget. I think it happened once under Clinton for a few minutes,
and then I don't think we ever even had a balanced budget, much less a budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And even Clinton's balanced budget was a little dodgy.
Yeah, and it just there's too many people with too many hands in their bag. But anyway, I want to go over just a few things that this does. It postpones the inevitable until 2025.
Usual.
Why do you think, Melanie, that they would extend this to January 1st of 2025?
Well, because they're hoping they're going to have, the brain donor in chief in there to just sign off whatever.
Bingo. All right, so it suspends U.S. borrowing limit until 2025, which means the debt can grow beyond the current ceiling and most likely will.
It probably already has.
It's going to remain relatively flat. The non-defense spending is going to be relatively flat in 2024 and increase by just 1% in fiscal 2025. That was probably the Republicans doing. Non-defense discretionary spending will be rolled back to fiscal 2022 levels, and top-line federal spending will be limited to 1% annual growth for the next 6 years.
So let me get this. Let me just make this clear.
Yeah.
We are quote rolling back our spending levels to mid-pandemic, free for all, throw money out the window, full government control takeover, handing out as much money as humanly possible.
And by the way, we're rolling it all the way back to 1 year ago.
When we were spending, what is the I want to say medical term, the scientific, tons of money on stupid crap. We're rolling it back to that. That's not a rollback. That's a more money. Moneymaker go brrr.
Okay. Because I have a selfish interest in this, the legislation will maintain full funding for veterans' health care and will increase support for the PACT Act's Toxic Exposure
Fund. That shouldn't have
Fund.
even been on the block.
It shouldn't have been an issue.
Why does that even come up, you jerks?
The
Hey,
package,
how much more are we going to send to Ukraine so we can murder more people? Whee!
keep the VA in business anyway. The package calls for temporarily broadening of work requirements for certain adults receiving food stamps. Currently, childless, able-bodied adults ages 18 to 49 are only able to get food stamps for 3 months out of every 3 years unless they are employed at least 20 hours a week or meet other criteria. Legislation will increase the upper limit of the mandate to age 55 in phases. So it's not really... It's expanding...
That'll cut down on abortion, at least.
Yeah. And all the changes will end in 2030, which by then they'll have some other nonsense. And it'll rescind roughly... Now, this is an interesting part here. I want to know your thought on this, Melanie. Seriously. Legislation will rescind roughly $28 billion in unobligated funds from the COVID-19 relief packages. That's actually a good thing.
You mean those relief packages that we never saw?
I saw part of it. A little teeny,
I'm still waiting for the state of Nevada to file my to
and this
reply
is
to
gonna
my
be,
unemployment application.
This is going to be Melanie's favorite part. House Republicans have been determined to jettison the roughly $80 billion in IRS funding over 10 years contained in the Inflation Reduction Act the Democrats passed last year. GOP lawmakers argue that the money will be used to hire an army of new agents. Remember that? They were going to hire 87 zillion people anyway. They're going to be repurposing $10 billion from fiscal 24 and $10 billion from fiscal 25 and use them in non-defense areas. Thank you. We'll also rescind $1.4 billion in IRS funding from the act. I mean, that's okay. So it's not. It ain't no A+, but it's certainly working in the right way. Restart student loan repayments. Okay, that's good if you went to college, pay up. On the other hand,
they're not going to pay off.
On the other hand, if you've paid it all off and they're still after you, that's another story.
Paid it all off 10 times over, and they're still chasing you.
No change to climate and energy provisions. It speeds up the creation of the Mountain Valley Pipeline, which is a natural gas pipeline in West Virginia. So it's some of this I like a lot.
Golly,
but it could have been
better.
better.
I will into certain Orange Man's policies.
Yeah, I will say that if Democrats had run everything, we wouldn't have any cuts at all. It'd
No.
be just
No, it'd just be
they would have taken that cap and thrown it in the air like like graduation day.
Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, congratulations to GOP. At the same time, GOP, you suck. I think that is about as deep as I'm going to get
What a
tonight.
bunch
So.
of woolly-livered, okay.
Vote third party, people. I've had it with these dum-dums.
Well, this next one is near and dear to your heart as well. Apparently, the Writers Guild of America strike continues, and not a damn person has noticed.
Well, I wouldn't say not a damn person has noticed.
Okay, not a blessed person has noticed. I guess all the damned
It's just
people
this
are
is
the ones
one.
that are
This
on
is a strike I actually support because of the changing face of entertainment. It's no longer you get paid. Well, it's no longer something that might show up on 3 networks with all the different sources like streaming, film, all of this other stuff. Hold on. Okay.
Hey, while you're
There-
looking for that, is the kitty hammock next to you open and available?
It will be
Fritzy
shortly.
is very salty about Max taking over what she considers to be her hammock. And, you know, we got to spread the love here and not... All right, so next time Fritzy comes in, we'll let her know. She, too, can supervise the podcast.
As the Writers Guild enters its second calendar month of a strike, a key alliance in its fight for increased residuals, wages, and AI protections, that's the interesting part because they don't want AI writing stuff for them. So, you know, they want protections
I've seen what AI
against
writes,
that.
though.
I've seen what Hollywood writers write too.
Well, and that's kind of my issue. I mean,
I know I just kind of contradicted myself there.
Yeah, you did, because we are just churning out reimaginations of the same old tripe, only now with, you know, more blackface. I mean, that's basically all it is, just redo Gone with the Wind, only make half of the white people black and half of the black people gay, and throw in a trans or something in there, and bada bing, bada boom, you've got a new epic. You know, it's like...
It's just there's
Actually, it kind of would be funny to do a Gone with the Wind where, like, all the roles were reversed. Why, I do not know anything about birthing any babies.
whatever shall I do, wherever shall I go.
As long as I don't have to go hungry no more. Get bad.
So I haven't really been keeping up with
Frankly,
it that
my
much.
dear, I
But
don't give it.
Frankly, bitch, I don't give a...
anyway, hello. Anyway, so there's that.
Oh, God, we could offend so many people doing
But
a parody.
honey, we already do. All these people are look at the live link. Ooh, let's listen to this. 10 seconds later, whoop! I'm out. I'm gone. I'm gone.
What did I just
So-
step in? Yipe. Oh, hey, I got called a Nazi again this week.
Yeah, how's that different from any other
I
week?
wasn't a Zionist Nazi, though, so I need to step
Oh,
up my
man.
game. And I got kicked off of Facebook for resharing
Re-sharing.
a meme that involved the First Lady and her stepson.
Mm-hmm.
That was a picture he took of himself and had no nudity or anything. I mean, you knew he was, but it wasn't, nothing was showing. But apparently I violated their terms of service because I posted a photo that he did not approve of, even though he took it. Anyway.
I just
So yeah, I'm not
wonder
allowed
how
to
close.
post or comment or
How
yardy
close do you
yardy.
think Zuckerberg and Hunter are? Do you think they hang out with each other? Do you think they're buddies? Do you think
I
they?
don't care.
Do you think
It's
that he
just
was bribed
ridiculous.
into just?
It's absolutely ridiculous how cherished and protected this sweet baby boy is by all media. It's ridiculous. The guy's a schmuck.
And he's not. It's not like he's like 19 or 20 years old. This
No.
guy's my age, or close to it.
Yeah, and he's been
You know,
a
he
schmuck.
knows better.
His father's been a schmuck his entire life. He's been a schmuck his entire life. They're corrupt as hell. And hey, now we get to actually talk about it for a freaking change. But they're still protecting him. It's
Meanwhile,
ridiculous.
Daddy falls upstairs and face plants.
I think the whole Biden thing is elder abuse. I mean, I think they're being as cruel to him as they are to Fetterman. And, you know, the whole thing with what's her name?
Dianne Feinstein?
I think it's just cruel. It's cruel what these people are doing.
But they're power mad, Melanie. Or they have family members or associates that are power mad and want to work
their
for them.
elders as much as they hate their children. These people have no sense of decency. You know, and the man, well, I mean, Biden is easy to hate because he's been a corrupt liar his entire career. You know, he had to twice step down from running for president because he was caught lying and plagiarizing. And
somehow it caught this time. I don't know.
And yet they still put him into office and pretend like he's doing a good job and prop him up. And now it's just gotten to the point where it's sad. It's sad watching Fetterman and Feinstein and Biden and a few others just stumble around. I mean, even Nancy just stumble around and it's... Okay, first of all, boomers, it's time for you to retire. Let it go. Let it go.
There's a lot of Gen Xers and Gen Zers and...
They just skipped over Gen Xers. It's like we never even existed.
Yeah.
And, you know, Gen Z could have had a shot, and then the current generation is completely useless because they can't even figure out what bathroom to use. We might have some squeaking in the background.
Yeah, because we're nothing if not professional here.
You were supposed to put up those particular toys.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was. I'm... Okay, on behalf of me,
Don't mind me while...
On behalf of me, okay, all right, I'll just go along with it. Maybe next week we won't have background noise. That'll do. I mean, on the other hand, if you're going to have background noise, wouldn't you rather hear this than a happy puppy than some other nonsense? It's almost like they wait until we're live. They wait until we're live and then eat her.
We played. We got a nice bone. We sat here and happily and quietly chewed on our bone and squeaky toy. She went shopping.
Yeekers beakers.
Jeepers beepers.
All right.
So continue. I will take care of the squeak.
I wasn't going to continue.
Well, then do something else.
All right, folks. We love doing this show, and we love our listeners, whether you're tuning in live with us now or listening to an archive years from now on Spotify or whatever Apple calls itself by then. We appreciate you. And we ask, if you really enjoy this show, tell your friends about it. Drop by our gift shop at counterculturewise.com. Check out our merch. Melanie works hard to create new designs and fun things. Also, we have a subscribe star. If you subscribe to that, you're going to get some special secret goodies. Ooh. Everybody loves secret goodies. So, anyway, the writer's strike continues.
Dog treat recipes and pictures of our dogs and maybe some really exciting things over on Subscribe Star. I don't think I've been on there for a while. So, hey, let us know you're alive so we have reason to post there.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
So this is the next thing Melanie will cover is actually an opinion piece from the old gray lady, the New York Times.
Yeah, so this will be interesting because I did listen to most of this. Mm-hmm. Yawn. Obviously, since it is from the New York Times, it's going to be, well, dog-legging to the left as much as possible. So I'm not sure what's going on with the picture. It's like...
Yeah, it looks like it was taken off of a TV.
Maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
All right. If you had told me several months ago, immediately after Elon Musk bought Twitter and Ron DeSantis celebrated a thumping?
Yeah,
re-election,
thumping. Yeah,
re-election
he
victory.
smacked the crap out of the opponent. So.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thumping was now an adjective, but okay. I'm thumper because I thump. that DeSantis would launch his presidential campaign in conversation with Musk, I would have thought intriguing. The rightward trending billionaire whose rockets and cars stand out in an economy dominated by apps and financial instruments meets the Republican politician whose real-world victories contrast with the virtual populism of Donald Trump. Virtual populism. Interesting take. The actual launch of DeSantis' presidential campaign in a Twitter Spaces event that crashed repeatedly and played to a smaller audience than he would have claimed just by showing up on Fox, instead offered the political version of the lesson that we've been taught repeatedly by Musk's stewardship of Twitter: the internet can be a trap. It's a trap! For the Tesla and SpaceX mogul, the trap was sprung because Musk wanted to attack the groupthink of liberal institutions, and seeing that groupthink manifest on his favorite social media site, he imagined that owning Twitter was the key to transforming public discourse. But for all its influence, social media is still downstream of other institutions, universities, newspapers, television channels, movie studios, other internet platforms. I love this one. Twitter is real life, but only through its relationship to other realities. It doesn't have the capacity to be a hub of discourse, news gathering, or entertainment on its own. And many of Musk's difficulties as the Twitter CEO has reflected a simple overestimation of social media's inherent authority and influence. You know, this guy's like really into the word salad kind of.
Yeah, it's
lifting. I want to sound more intelligent than I am.
Yeah.
All right, so he talks about the selling of privilege verification, blue check marks, hierarchy, blah, blah. He's encouraged his favorite journalists to publish their scoops and essays on his site. It says when it isn't yet built out for that kind of publication, but it kind of is. Or he's encouraged media figures like Tucker Carlson and now politicians DeSantis to run shows or do interviews on his platform without having the infrastructure in place to make it all that work. The thing is, that comes. Mm-hmm. That comes as you do that. YouTube didn't start out that way. Right. You know, Facebook certainly didn't start out that way. It comes, and you have to learn from your mistakes. And my complaint wasn't... see, what they've done is they've taken the announcement and they've made the technical glitches the news, which it isn't. And they've done that because they can't speak to his policies and his ideas. So they made the story about the Twitter issues and not about, I don't know, the issues that we all give a crap about. Mm-hmm. And that's just this little game that they play where if a story is reported, they'll talk about, you know, the famous is, you know, Republicans pounce. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but you're talking about the Republicans or the conservatives, for those of us who are not Republican, response to the heinous, ridiculous, insane, moronic thing that you're doing. How is people's reaction to your insanity the story? How about we talk about the dumbassery that you're engaging in instead of how people are reacting to what dumbasses you are? And the answer is because they can't. They can't. They can't speak to it because then people might see that the emperor has new clothes, and when they spout ridiculous things, people will go, whoa, even they don't believe that. Right. But if they spout ridiculous things and say, oh, those evil conservatives or Republicans or, you know, Nazis or racists or bigots or fill in the blank for all the names they call people, no matter what they are, no matter what their view is, no matter how they feel, no matter what they believe, if anybody pushes back even slightly, they have to talk about the response. I mean, the same thing is going on with the Bud Light and the Ford and all the, you know, Target and all the dumb crap that's going on right now. They're not talking about the moronic thing that they did and how they basically told their own consumers that they hate their ever-loving guts and how they're grooming children, how they're sexualizing children. They're not talking about that. They're talking about, oh, the evil response. Do you know that if you choose not to shop at a certain store, that makes you a terrorist now? If I choose not to shop at Target, according to these psychopaths, I am a terrorist. They have taken
some people don't shop at Target simply because they don't like Target. I mean, some people prefer to go to every store I'm coming up with is closed down now. Sears,
Yeah.
Kmart, whatever. Or go on Amazon, or go to Walmart, or go to the mall and buy
or
things
make it
individually.
themselves or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
But
Target.
Target's
Target's not the be-all and end-all of
the word
retail.
racist to the point where it literally means nothing.
Yeah.
Then we threw around the term Nazi until it literally means nothing. And now we're throwing around the word terrorist, and now it means nothing. I mean, if you're gonna,
I don't
there's
know.
a difference
So
between
what they're-
people
so what
who
they're
flew
saying-
planes into
Yeah, I was just gonna
buildings
say.
and murdered hundreds of people, thousands of people. There's a huge difference between somebody who did that and somebody who chooses to buy their Pop-Tarts at Safeway instead of Target.
Exactly.
I mean, my God, people, do you even look in the mirror and go, wait, was what I said probably the stupidest thing that any human being has ever uttered? Should I rethink my asinine, ridiculous, moronic... No, they never do that. They can't.
No.
They can't. They can't.
They're not capable.
And then they think that it's cutesy cute to try to turn it back around on us. They're like, oh, are you mad? You're so salty. It's like, no. And here's where you're kind of losing the plot, sweetheart. I don't care enough about you to be mad. I'm just not going to shop at Target because they're icky. I'm not going to buy a Ford even though I've always liked Fords because they hate me. Why would I give business to someone who hates me? And why on earth would I give a red dime to someone who wants to harm children? I'm not going to contribute to Planned Parenthood, which is why I've stayed out of being an actual certified teacher for so long. I'm not going to shop at stores that tell me I'm a piece of garbage because I don't think that we should cut off children's genitals. I am not going to donate to companies who think that it's appropriate to put on blackface, woman face, or any other thing and mock people. And not in a fun way. I mean, it's one thing, and I don't have any love for Jimmy Kimmel, but him joking around with his friend and whatever, and him dressing up for, who was it? I forget, Shaquille or whoever. That's one thing. But it's another thing to look me in the eyes when you have a dick and tell me that you're a better woman than I am. And parade around like you're some little girl and little cutesy songs. And no, you are mocking women. And to say that, I mean, you heard the CEO of Bud Light saying that they need to market to a younger crowd of drinkers. So they pick someone who's an influencer for children on TikTok? How transparent can you be? That does not make me a terrorist to say, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. You go do what you're going to do over there, and I'll just not let you touch my children over here.
Yeah, they're feeling the pinch like Gillette did a few years ago. Because once again, that's another example of a company that turned its back on its main audience, its main consumer base, and insulted us. Now, I still get, their parent company, Procter & Gamble, we make fun of them. I don't boycott them entirely, but I won't buy another Gillette product, no matter who owns them, for the rest of my life. It's something that 20 other companies make, at least, depending on what the product is. And same with this. I mean, Bud Light, except for the lime-flavored stuff, which wasn't bad.
Yeah, but I've got a lime in the fridge right now.
I could squirt lime into Youngling or Lone Star. Who cares?
Yeah.
I know that Miller... Molson Coors is the parent company. They got into some hot water lately. I'm neither boycotting nor not boycotting them. I love the way that we are concentrating on this one company because they did something egregious, and they turned their backs on the working class, middle America person. That's the only, Budweiser was the only beer some people would drink. It's just, it's what they do.
And let's be 100% crystal clear. It has nothing to do with sweet little Dylan.
I actually,
he is really good at coming up with a grift to make money. Okay, that's his gig. It has nothing to do with him or whatever he's pretending to be this week. He goes back and forth. He just follows the money. He's good at it. God love him. He's like Lady Gaga. He goes where the money is.
I don't.
He gives the
I don't
press,
have any animosity whatsoever towards Dylan.
I don't care enough about him.
I don't care.
Don't,
I just don't.
Okay?
That's not the point.
It's the principle of what they did.
Right.
The fact that he doesn't even drink beer, he knows nothing about sports. He could give a crap about Americans, and that's going to be their poster child. And I do emphasize the word child. That's the point.
Yeah.
And, with all the
people are missing the
nonsense,
point about.
I'll be honest. No. I am actively avoiding anything with a frickin' rainbow on it right now.
Even though we said we weren't going to talk about it, but let's talk about it.
No, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm actively avoiding anything with a stupid rainbow on it because, first of all, these companies don't give a flaming rat's patootie about the whole Rainbow Mafia thing. They're doing it because the Rainbow Mafia would take them down if they don't.
Right.
Okay? They are pandering to what supposedly is 2% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That is a totalitarian mafia.
Mm-hmm.
And I say no. No. And it's about time people started growing a pair and saying no. And you know what? They'll and they'll cry, and they'll point, and they'll call you names. I mean, I get called names on a daily basis. I get death threats. And you know what? I don't care. I don't know you. I don't like or dislike you. I don't care enough about you to hate you. I'm not going to give you that much power.
Or that much. Give
I'm
away
also
that much
not
energy.
going to play your little game. I'm also not going to celebrate your life choices any more than I expect you to celebrate mine. And that's where I'm leaving it.
It's like celebrating having brown hair.
Well,
I don't
no,
even...
it's completely different. I mean, it's like celebrating that you dyed your hair brown.
Oh. Well, actually, that is very accurate. That's very accurate.
We're not talking about things that you were born into. And you know what? That's another thing. I actually grew up believing that was innate, that you were born, a certain way, and you, Rainbow Mafia, you, LGBT, Elemental P, FJB, XYZ, plus 2 Spirit, whatever the hell you're calling yourself this week, you are the ones who taught me otherwise. We went from, I was born this way, there's nothing I can do about it, to, no, I can change that any given day, and you have to celebrate it and play along. That's a different game, Sweet Cheeks. That is a different game. And now that you have convinced me that you were lying to me all along, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, that's all I have to say.
And that's on that happy note.
You too.
Yeah.
That goes for
and the
you
Winnebago you rode in on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we repeat a lot of things week after week, but this just and this one I don't mind repeating because it is. I know I'm going to sound like a cranky old fart, but guess what?
He is a cranky old fart.
I am a cranky old fart.
He's also a farty old crank.
The what?
I said you're also a farty old crank.
No, there's that.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, whippersnappers. Yeah, it's just what I was going to say is I know it sounds like I'm a cranky old man. I am, but it's the moral fabric of our country, the one that, what made us unique. It seemed to still be in our grasp just a few years ago. And then Trump got elected, and I'm not blaming him for this, but it just brought out the crazy, just brought out the absolute batch stuffle in America.
Never in their entire lives. We have an entire generation, two actually, entire generation of children who have never been told no. Never. And this is just like the little brat at the Walmart that reaches for the candy and mom says no, and they throw a holy hell temper tantrum and have a fit and kick and scream and go around in circles and knock things off the shelf. This is an entire generation of these children, and
now
they
they're
never
adults.
Grew up.
Yeah, and now they're adults and they still have the same mentality.
And I don't want to work, and I want to eat candy for dinner.
And you can't tell me what to do. And I'm going to dye my hair green and pierce every bit of my schnoz. And I'm going to cut off my boobs. And I'm going to do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my mommy. Because they never had parents.
Right.
So I blame the previous generation as well.
Yeah.
You coddled and bubble wrapped and just allowed these brats to never grow up.
This is the end result of the pop psychology of the 60s when they said, don't punish your kids. You don't want to do that. You can discipline them and have them sit in the corner while they're, threatening to stab you. But
they won't even do that now.
There's no timeouts
and everybody
anymore.
Gets a trophy, and there should be no competition. And if you're too much of a dumbass to figure out how to do this, we'll just make the whole class come down to your level. And if you actually are intelligent or better than other people, no matter your skin color, if you're brown or darker, you are a victim, and you need to stop being smart, and you need to stop trying to achieve, because we're all white supremacists, and we don't believe you can achieve on your own. And that's crap. And it's racist nonsense. And for them to turn around and gaslight us, who say that's crap and racist nonsense, and tell us that we're the bigots. When I look at someone, most of my students are not white.
Right.
And most of them are crazy smart.
Yeah.
And I am never, ever going to tell my student that they are a victim of society and tell them that they can't achieve. And I will be damned if anybody else will tell them that either. And I've actually had a couple of students have to do assignments where they talk about stuff like that. And I'll just be honest with them. That's garbage. Don't listen to that. It's absolute tripe.
I mean, they have to do it in order to pass the class.
And there are times that I've had to write papers, or help, well, not I didn't write them, but help my students write papers. Well, they'll ask me questions, and I'll say, no, that's not true. But it's what your teacher wants to hear. Mm-hmm. And every now and then we'll kind of sneak a troop bomb in there, and it lowers their grade every time. It lowers their grade every time because these selfish, whiny, entitled teachers don't have the makeup to be told no. They cannot face any pushback at all. They can't handle it. And they talk about white fragility. Oh no, honey, you have not seen fragility. I don't feel fragile. You have not seen fragility, and what's really pathetic is the same people that are screaming about white fragility are the white middle class, mostly women, who are so fragile that if you say men are men, they have penises, they may not always work, but you have XY chromosome, you're a man. If you have XX chromosomes, you're a woman. If you have anything else in between, you're a freak. Not your fault. We'll do what we can with you, but you can't swap. It's just a fact. They are the ones that absolutely lose their ever-loving minds. That's fragility. To tell me that you're going to run off and commit suicide if I don't look at you as a man and pretend like you know anything about being a woman, that I don't play your little make-believe game, that you're so fragile that you think it's genocide if I just say, hey, maybe you should get some mental health help. I'm not going to play. You're not Napoleon, you're not a dragon, and you're not a woman.
Or a unicorn.
Or a unicorn, or an attack helicopter, or a kitty cat.
Yes, I'm a kitty cat. Cat? I'm a kitty cat.
When you're 5 and 6 years old and you want to play dress up, that's great. Use your imagination.
That's what I did. That's what Melanie did.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to castrate you, put you on drugs that will give you osteoporosis before you hit 12, and start cutting off your body parts when you hit puberty. That's insane. These people are part of a cult.
And the sad part is
to tell them no.
Sad part is I've had to say goodbye to some friends out of moral obligation because they went ahead with this, or they're indulging their kids and it looks like they're about to, and it's like, no, I can't abide by that.
And it's all in the
I don't draw very many lines, Melanie. You know that.
Yeah.
But that's one I draw.
And the sad thing is, these kids are going to be so damaged, and there's no coming back. I mean, it's not like they're the hair dyeing and the piercing and the tattoos and the painting your nails black. Those are all things you can come back from.
Right.
They're mutilating your child. And isn't it just amazing that when we're talking about fewer than 1% of the population have this mental disorder.
How dare you?
How many of them in Hollywood happen to have this mental disorder? So this isn't affirming. This isn't beautiful and brave. This is proving that people in Hollywood are batshit insane and need to be stopped. So we're at the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to come back with news of the weird and wonderful, talk about more fun things.
And we're gonna drop this subject.
Yeah, we didn't even want to talk about it, but
we're
come
done.
on.
Sometimes it just comes out of the flow of things, but we had no intention of talking about it, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it again for the rest of Pride Month.
And that's the thing. I just want to make it abundantly clear. I don't hate anybody. I don't even like people enough to hate them. There's a few people I love, a few people I appreciate, a few people I kind of like, and the rest of you, I honestly don't care. Just keep your grubby rainbow paws off of children. We'll be right back with news of the weird and wonderful. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I get it. Your parents were jerks and you're traumatized. But that doesn't mean you should use your lousy childhood as an excuse to be a lousy adult. Stop being such a whiner and get past your past already. Buy Get Over It and Get Started. The book by Melanie Hope that will get you out of your self-imposed failure and on the road to greatness. Available in paperback, Kindle, and Nook.
Do you feel trapped in your body, mind, or spirit? Are you one of countless Americans wanting to identify as someone or something else outside of your current identity? We can help. At Crap It All One Credit, we have helped thousands of people with their identities. We can take your old one and hand it over to hackers, leaving you free to be that unicorn or attack helicopter you've always known you were. Let Crap It All One's lack of security enable you with yours. We want to identify as your credit card of choice. Call us or visit our website today. Crap It All One, a division of Sucker Bank, LLC.
Terms and conditions apply. Extension of credit is not guaranteed, even though we send people thousands and thousands of ads in the mail implying that it is. Applying for credit will affect your credit score. Never mind that may affect the stuff that we always print on the applications because it's not true. Just like Jeffrey Epstein hanging himself. Don't expect a high credit line or low APR just because you think you deserve it. We haven't stayed in business for decades by being stupid with our money. That's your thing. This offer extended only to dummies in the United States and its territories. Have a nice day.
Leaders, listen up. Do you feel like you can't get a dang thing done because of all the namsy-pamsy crybabies that want you to coddle their creativity? When you give orders, are you met with vacant stares only rivaled by a cocker spaniel? It's not them. It's you. You need to shape up or they'll ship you out. Read The Sniper's Guide to Leadership, and you'll become a more effective leader, communicator, and motivator. Forget SMART goals and learn SWIFT goals. Get The Sniper's Guide to Leadership in paperback, Kindle, and Nook. Today!
I can't believe how much prices have shot up. I can barely keep up with my bills and groceries, and the landlord just told me he has to raise my rent so he can pay his bills. What a mess.
Bet you're sorry you voted for old Joe now, aren't you?
What are you talking about? He's doing a great job. This isn't his fault. Besides, he made gas prices go down.
But you just contradicted yourself. If he didn't cause the prices to go up, how can you give him credit for bringing them down?
He's doing a great job. His approval rating is through the roof.
Through what roof? No one likes him.
It doesn't matter if no one likes him because everyone likes him.
In spite of every single fact right in her face, she still spouts nonsense with such conviction. How does she do it?
That's easy. Your friend uses Deniadol, the newest medication from CCW Labs. Deniadol allows you to have truly independent thoughts without the pressure of using logic, compassion, or decency. With Deniadol, you can live in your own peaceful bubble, enjoying true creativity. Let's see another example of how Deniadol can enhance your life. Joe, I wanted to talk to you about your job performance.
Yeah, what about it?
According to the numbers, your performance has been slipping steadily over the last 3 months. I'm going to have to give you a verbal warning.
I'm not slipping. You're full of it.
Okay. Look, Joe, here are the numbers. This is proof that you're not doing as well as you had been. You went from a 90% success rate to 85 and then 72. Now look, Joe, you've been here a long time and I really want to help. Let's work together to fix this, all right?
There ain't nothing to fix. You're discriminating against me.
I'm doing nothing of the sort. Everyone here is being held to the same standards.
Standards are racist.
But how can we be accountable without standards?
Accountability is racist.
What are you talking about?
You're just using your position to discriminate against me.
Discriminate? Joe, we're both Hispanic.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to go to HR and report you for using racist numbers against me.
Now numbers are racist? Oh, the hell with it. Just get back to work and try to do better this month, all right?
Asking me to improve is...
Please just go, all right?
All right. Thanks, Deniadol.
Deniadol, for the life you choose. Only from CCW Labs.
Use only as directed. Deniadol should be taken by prescription only unless the doctor tells you that you can't have it, in which case you should either scream and cry and beg until they give in, or go to a border town where someone will just hand it to you through the fence. Do not take with alcohol, cola, juice, water, milk, coffee, root beer, tea, grape beverages, ginger ale, Dr. Pepper, coconut milk, lemonade, or sarsaparilla. Side effects may include blurred vision, slurred speech, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, or lycanthropy. Avoid using heavy machinery, baseball bats, dog toys, guitars, wheelbarrows, horseshoes, or submarines. Deniadol is a registered trademark of CCW Labs, and you are not allowed to use it unless you hit like, share, subscribe, and send lots and lots and lots of money to counterculturewise.com.
We here at Burger Fling strive to be the wokiest woke company that ever woke in the West. Our pandering to millennials knows no bounds. From Satisfries and black cheese to promising free food for women who get knocked up by soccer players, we bend over every which way but backwards to lure those knobheads in. And this is the year that we are shifting into hyperdrive. As if offering vegan burgers weren't enough, we had to pound the crap out of that long debunked dead horse known as the pink tax. Our chick fries ad pretended to offer the same food in a pink box at twice the price because, you know, that's exactly how it works with razors. What better way to propagate propaganda than through a fast food restaurant ad? Last month, we celebrated the launch of our series of unhappy meals. Who wants to get a burger and fries and feel good about themselves? Muck, no one! We are so woke that we do not comprehend the idea that you are supposed to buy a meal to make yourself feel better. No. Here at Burger Fling, we offer a set of 5 perfectly normal emotions so that you can feel more suicidal, snarky, shitty, spastic, or just plain meh. Have it your way or the highway, and screw anyone who gets in the way of your moody ass. Just last week, we used our Twitter account to engage in guerrilla politics by reminding everyone our milkless milkshakes make excellent projectiles. If you can't shoot, firebomb, or in the UK, spoon, your opponent, publicly humiliate them with hilariously violent antics. Make sure you're in front of the cameras or it doesn't count. Psst. Hey, UK. We recommend our sulfuric smoothie flavor, or in a pinch, the Chicago-style bleach vanilla bomb. Yummy! Today we offered our most woke-a-doodle woke-wokiest wonky woke yet! We're going to pay off your student loans. Listen up, millennials. All you have to do is download our app, enter all of your personal information, including the amount you owe and your checking account number, drop some coins for some of our yummy mystery meatless burgers, and then sit back and wait. We are going to randomly give away as much as $500. Sure, it's not enough to buy a single textbook, and it won't help a single student make even a single payment on their loans, but we are single-handedly making the rounds of every news outlet. And isn't that what being woke is all about?
Hi, everybody. This is Fritzina Fluffybottom. Did you know that we have a Subscribe Star? We do! There are lots of fabulous extra things on there that you can't get anywhere else, like outtakes, new books, and extra videos. And you can sign up for as little as $1. Our entire show is funded by you, our loyal viewers. Please make sure you sign up today so that Mommy and Daddy can get me shiny new bells for my collar, extra feathery toys, yummy crumbly cat food bowls made just for kitty cats, more cow pillows for my couch, name brand albacore tuna, my own pink mustache.
Counterculture Wise is proud to present News of the Weird and Wonderful. Here are your hosts, Melanie Hope and Jim Monis.
All right, News of the Weird and Wonderful. We like to start with a little bit more weird than wonderful, and this one is weird. A former high school in Oklahoma is listed for sale online as a single-family home. And it is honking. I mean, this thing is huge. And it's only being, wow, they're only asking $60,000.
I know what you're thinking, Melanie.
Okay, I know what I'm thinking too. The 17,408 square foot building, originally built as Burbank High School in 1924, they did have indoor plumbing back then, is listed on Zillow as a single family home with 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and 1 indoor basketball court.
I could see a nonprofit getting this and using it for good.
Well, yeah. The high school closed in 1968. There's plenty of opportunity to make this property your own. The listing states the large lot size and open floor plan provide endless opportunities. With some imagination, this could be the perfect home for you. Not to mention there's like 97 bathrooms. The listing suggests the property could also be converted into a commercial space.
So wait a minute. We'd both be able to use the bathroom at the same time?
And invite people over. And each have our own stall.
You could actually build a decent video and recording studio.
Yeah.
Contraption like that.
Yeah. Or might even be able to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
The large
Inside
lot size
joke.
and open floor plan provide endless possibilities, the listing says. Well, what's the catch? There's no catch? What's the catch? Okay, and now I'm curious.
So click on the Zillow thing, and I'll go on to the next one. It's
got like a stadium. I mean, yeah, it needs some.
Well, yeah, it would need some TLC
got a
after
stage.
Oh my!
How are they listing this as a single-family home, though? Showers. Oh, somebody did build a really nice bathtub, kitchen.
There you go.
I mean, it needs some TLC, but dang. It's only $60,000, Jim.
I know. That's.
Where is it? Burbank,
it's in Oklahoma. Not Burbank, California.
They even put a garden tub in. They turned one room into like a ballroom with like red walls and furniture. Somebody actually did a lot of work on this. Somebody did a lot of work on this, and you could turn the grounds into something fantastic. This is beautiful. Okay, let's head on over to the next article. That is probably more weird than wonderful, as we try to get our lights back on here in Counterculture Wise Studio. God. You gotta love how things work here. So, mystery sea creature caught on camera in South Carolina waters. And I'm looking at the picture. It looks like a log. So maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. What is this creature? What is this creature? So we're going to go look at this creature while that's loading so I can see the actual video because the archive version turns off the video. A visitor to a South Carolina bridge captured a video of a mystery creature in the water that wildlife experts have yet to identify. Woo! Rain McKinney captured video near the South Causeway Bridge to Pawleys Island showing what appears to be an unusual fish swimming in the water. The video was sent to the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, but few answers were available. The people in my office are mostly stumped, but we're not the experts, the department that representative told the radio station. The representative said one law enforcement officer suggested the animal might be a squid, but they were unsure. Atlantic reef squid are known to live in South Carolina waters. Long-finned squid are frequently found in the waters of nearby North Carolina. The video was then forwarded to the Marine Resources Research, I got this, in Charleston, which is still analyzing the footage. The meteorologist at WCNC, Brad Panovich, suggested the creature could be a sea slug, a species not often spotted in South Carolina waters. He said the fish sea slugs are fish? I thought sea slugs were mollusks. Maybe I'm weird. He said the fish tend to prefer the warmer waters of Florida, but have been seen migrating further north as water temperatures rise. Okay, I want to see what this thing looks like. Let's see what this thing looks like. It looks like a flappy fish. It's definitely not a sea slug. You know what it looks like is a flying fish that's kind of flapping its fins underwater. That's kind of what it looks like. It looked like a log at first, but yeah, it's like a flappy fish. Flappy fish. I don't think sea slugs have flappy things. But if you've ever seen a flying fish leap out of the water, the fins that look kind of wingy, that's what this looks like. It's actually kind of cool looking. Why do we only ever get grainy videos of things like this and UFOs? Why don't we ever get like footage that is crystal clear? I mean, you can get video footage that is of a star that is so crystal clear you can make out their pores, but we can't get decent footage of a flappy fish. Crazy. All right, I'm going to check this one out because this is a little bit weird, more weird than wonderful. A Louisiana dog earns the world record with a 5-inch tongue. And ladies and gentlemen, this dog looks an awful lot like one of our dogs. I want to know who the person in charge of measuring dog tongues is, because that's something I would want a name tag for. Melanie Hope, dog tongue measurer. God. A Louisiana dog's 5-inch tongue. Okay, I want to see a side-by-side comparison with this dog's face and Gene Simmons. I'm just saying. A Louisiana dog's 5-inch tongue has been officially certified as the longest in the world by Guinness World Records. I didn't even know this was a thing. Zoe, a Labrador German. Oh, she's half lab, just like you guys. A Labrador German Shepherd mix was awarded the record for longest tongue on a living dog. Thank you for on a living one. After a veterinarian measured from the tip of her snout to the tip of her tongue. Oh, they didn't even go back to where the tongue started, so that's just how far it hangs out. Zoe's owners said they got the canine when she was only 6 weeks old, and they almost immediately noticed her unusually long tongue. We thought surely she'd grow into it, but she obviously didn't. She still has an enormous tongue compared to her body. The couple said Zoe is popular with neighbors. I betcha she gives great kisses, right, Sadie? Great kisses with the satyrs, doesn't she? Yes. Every now and then while we're out taking for a walk, people will come to her and want to pet her. We'll warn them ahead of time, hey, she's friendly, but she might slobber on you, and every now and then she will, and they'll have a big slobber mark on their black pants. Cutie. Oh, what a cutie. All right, we're still waiting for news on what's going to happen with the lights coming on, but hey, we're still broadcasting, so that's a good thing. head on over to another news of the weird and wonderful. The Canadian Automobile Association said a school zone assessment in Saskatchewan was interrupted by a loose horse that wandered into the street and halted traffic. Ruh-roh. That's actually happened to us when we had horses. They're just like, hey, look, I found a place where the fence is loose. Personnel were doing a school zone assessment, which analyzes driver and pedestrian behaviors in school zones outside Eastern School when traffic was brought to a standstill by an unbridled horse in the middle of the road. Well, that'll skew your assessment. Police arrived at the scene and escorted the horse out of the road with help from volunteers. Traffic had to be halted from all directions, and volunteers captured and led the horse to safety with no impact to students. An unusual situation, but also a good reminder that motorists need to be aware and alert at all times. You definitely do not want to hit a horse. All right, so those are some fun ones that we had. Remember, if you are interested in what these look like or double checking where they come from, all of these sources are at counterculturewise.com. All right, let's head on into more wonderful than weird and see what we can see. Actually, I think I have one more weird one. Well, kind of weird. We'll see. This one might border. It might cross over. All right. So it looks like a 118-year-old time capsule was found amid the demolition of an Ohio fire station. And it was found to contain badges and a fire company roster from 1905. Amazing. The Marion Fire Department said firefighters removing the cornerstone from the old station in advance of its demolition discovered a copper box. The department opened the time capsule and discovered items including turn-of-the-century Marion firefighter badges, a roster for the fire company and city government from 1905, a Marion Daily newspaper from the same year, and a book from the Marion Steam Shovel Company. A book? What an amazing find, the department said on a Facebook post. These items will be kept at the Marion County Historical Society while our new Station 1 is constructed and will eventually be placed there in a display case. I love that idea. I hope they do that again with the new station. It's so cool. I'm trying to look at the Instagram post, but it is not coming up. Oh, so cool. I know that that was like really big in the 80s. A lot of kids were doing time capsules at their school, and I believe our school did one. I'm pretty sure we did, and we got to vote on what went into it and all that stuff, so I'd be interested in what else is in there. Let's see, they have a list. 4 Marion Daily Star newspapers from July of 1905. A contract from 1905 between City of Marion and James B. Luke to build the fire station. So they must have put it in there as they were building it. An agenda from the 2nd Annual Marion Fire Department Ball, dated April 24th, 1905. A letter from Chief McFarland stating that the cornerstone was set on July 20th, 1905, and containing the names of the firemen employed at the 2 stations and the Huber Manufacturing Company Fire Department. A 1905 brochure that lists all the products the Marion Power Shovel manufactured at the time. Okay, so that's the book. It was actually a catalog. Let's see. A copy of the 1905 Merit System Rules containing rules for promotion and hiring firefighters. They posted what an amazing find, and they show massive pictures on this. This is so cool. And folks are asking, where's the gold nuggets? And 2 Twinkies still in the wrapper and edible. I don't know if Twinkies were made in 1905, but that sounds about right. I think every time capsule should include Twinkies just as a scientific experiment. Aw, this is a nice one, Max. Thanks for pointing this one out. This is a really sweet one, Max. I like this idea. A British woman's cat celebrates 32nd birthday. A pet celebrating her 32nd birthday. You could do this, Max. You've got this in you, buddy. Might be the oldest living cat in the world. Leela Brissett, 71, of Norwich, England, said her cat Rosie was born June 1st, 1991, and is celebrating her 32nd birthday Thursday with a salmon cake prepared by a local cat cafe owner. A salmon cake, very cute. She has honked half of the salmon cake already. I expect she will wake up at lunchtime and eat the rest. There won't be any left by lunchtime. Don't you worry. Honked. Brissett adopted Rosie when she was only a kitten and said the feline has only been to the vet twice. Once to be spayed in 1991 and a second time about 5 years ago to be treated for a cyst. Max has only been to the vet twice as well. He had to wear the cone of shame the second time, so he is avoiding it at all costs. Brissett said she has been in touch with Guinness World Records about having Rosie certified as the oldest living cat. The current record holder, a fellow England resident named Flossie, was 26 years old and 316 days when she was certified in November of 2022. Well, my kitty Pie Rocket made it to 21, so he's up there with some of the late greats. How cool. All right, well, 32 years. That is amazing. Who knew kitty cats could live that long? That is insane. Alrighty. Still waiting to find out if the lights are going to come back. That's the night the last one out at Counterculture Wise. Hey, last week we had a story about buffalo. And this week we have a story about buffalo hay and lions, just like on our thumbnail. A lone buffalo outsmarts lions and survives an attack from the whole pride by using a crocodile-infested river to its advantage. You'd think the crocodiles would be every bit as scary. Antonio Britt's manager at Elephant Walk Retreat in Kruger National Park in South Africa captured this incredible scene and shared it. Elephant Walk Retreat, situated 50 miles from Crocodile Bridge entrance to the Kruger National Park, offers self-catering accommodation with the views overlooking the Crocodile River. On this particular day, one of our staff members, Sifo, who was working in Unit 8, spotted lions from the deck and came to call me. There's also a lone buffalo who had come down for a drink at the river. The lions began stalking him, but luckily for the buffalo, he saw them and charged. It was the Verhami Pride, and they have quite a few sub-adults in the Pride who are quite inexperienced, and they seemed nervous of the buffalo and didn't want to take him on properly. How does one properly take on a buffalo? I would be interested in hearing how that works. How to properly take on a buffalo. Oh my. Young lions learn confidence in hunting from observing and imitating the seasoned hunters in their pride. Is that true, Max? He hasn't decided if he's a lion or a tiger. I think he thinks he's both. They acquire vital skills such as stalking silently through tall grass, strategic group ambushes, and precise timing. This all enables lions to develop the ability in analyzing and adapting to different prey behaviors. The buffalo ran into the river in hopes of escaping the lions. At this point, the lions were left a little confused and conflicted regarding what to do next. The buffalo realized he wasn't going to survive if he just stood in the crocodile-infested waters, so he crossed over to our side of the river. The lions accepted their defeat and began to drink water. You can almost see the relief in the old buffalo's face as the lions left the riverbed one by one. Perhaps they, too, didn't feel brave enough to cross crocodile-infested water just to get some food. We are lucky to have great sightings at Elephant Walk Retreat and often see lions here. Since I've worked here since 2017, we have seen quite a few hunts and kills, but the Verhami Pride hasn't visited in a while. I'm delighted to have seen them here again, hoping they'll visit now more than we are going into our dry season, and we'll have more game coming to the river to drink. And this is a pretty large pride. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 females, and a few that you can't see in the back, but he was a big old buffalo. Big old water buffalo. All right, let's visit one of our oldies but goodies, shall we?
Welcome back to the 2022 Women's Chess Championship. Last year's champion, Siobhan O'Malley, has defended her title thus far, and we're in the final game of the championship with newcomer Brandy Monroe. It looks like Siobhan is starting with her signature opener, setting up the Nimzowitsch-Larson attack. Siobhan is known for her decisiveness and quick turnaround, so it'll be interesting to see how Brandy's more methodical and pensive style will affect her. Brandy is contemplating the board. It looks like Brandy was going for a Queen's Knight, but has changed her mind. Yes, Brandy is moving her Knight's pawn instead. This is a classic defense against Nimzowitsch Larson. Brandy has done her homework. This is shaping up to be a great game. Siobhan is surveying the board. She's moving toward her king's bishop. Is she going to continue with... No, she's reconsidering. Oh, she's engaging her king's knight. This is a surprise. Will Brandy have a direct response to this, or is she setting up an attack? It looks like she's decided on the rook. Let's see what she does.
Yes! Yes!
It looks as though Brandy has chosen the reverse cowpoke diversion, which is typically a move made in Monopoly championships, but an interesting choice here. It will take the judges a few hours to sort out the winners, so look for those results along with instant replays and extended interviews on our website. We'll be back with the results of the 2022 Scrabble Porn Challenge after these messages.
I felt that particular one was appropriate because it was based on a true, more weird than wonderful story that we ran last year about a Grandmaster chess champion that was supposedly, actually it turned out it was not true, but he was accused of using a vibrator to cheat in the chess championship. And it was such a bizarre story, and they went back and forth and on and on. We need to revisit that because we had a little bit of fun at his expense. But we need to find out what actually happened there because my understanding it was totally bogus and it was just some salty Grandmaster chess guy that was mad at a younger kid who beat him. So I'll have to go back and revisit that story. All right, heading on into more wonderful than weird. Wow. Okay, you're going to love this one. The original demo tape that landed Prince his first record contract is being auctioned. Boston-based RR Auction calls the sale a stunning revelation for music enthusiasts and Prince fans worldwide. The demo tape, recorded on a 1/4-inch reel-to-reel tape in 1976, contains unreleased versions of 3 Prince originals, the catchy pop tune Just As Long As We're Together, and the disco pop song My Love Is Forever from his debut album. Wow. If you do follow counterculturewise.com, the links so that you can listen to them will also be included in this article. It also included the never-released Jelly Jam. At just 18 years old, Prince single-handedly wrote, arranged, sang, and played all the instruments for the tracks at Sound 80 Studios in Minneapolis. Dude was so talented. My Lord. The historic artifact obtained from the estate of the late Warner Brothers record executive Russ Thyrett serves as a testament to the visionary talent of the enigmatic musician and marks the inception of one of the most legendary careers in popular music. The reel, enclosed in its original custom-made box, which has a picture of him looking very 1970s Michael Jackson-y with the fro going on and looking, pretty standard for that era, has a handwritten label with this notice: Copyright 1977, Prince Nelson. It comes with a plexiglass display case, a business card belonging to Russ Thyrett, and a CD transfer of the tape's audio. Did we have CDs? Did not know we did. Wow, it is literally handwritten. That's insane. Prince signed with Warner Brothers on June 25th, 1977, less than 3 weeks after celebrating his 19th birthday. I knew he was young, but I had no idea he was that young. Russ Thyrett, who later ascended to become chairman and CEO of Warner Brothers Records, worked closely with Prince throughout his illustrious career. Following Thyrett's passing in 2021, archivist Jeff Gold, a former Warner Brothers executive vice president and general manager, who had collaborated with both Prince and Thyret, discovered the demo tape in Thyret's attic. This is an amazing find, and so is the electrician that is at our door. So let's head on into another golden oldie, shall we?
Tonight, the Historical Science Channel presents a special documentary about a lost chapter in human history. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, when our prehistoric ancestors populated the earth, the first semblances of society as we know it were taking place. Small groups of men and women began to form, and they gathered food, made fire, and protected each other from invaders. These common causes led to the development of stationary communities. But there was another community, if you want to call it that would have none of that rubbish. These adventurous souls would never stay in one place for more than a few days. Their instinct for wanderlust unabated, they meandered from region to region, never putting down roots or becoming a respectable part of ancient society. These were the Neanderthals.
The Neanderthals is brought to you in part by Flint Water Beer, also by CCW Labs, makers of fine pharmaceuticals.
There are times in your life when a normal beer just won't do. You want a beer with body. You want a beer with volume. You want a beer with a unique flavor all its own. That's when it's time to crack open an ice-cold bottle of Flint Water. Flint Water Lager is made with the finest municipal water Michigan has to offer. Brewed with the best grains you could purchase in bulk from the outlet store and aged in casks made from abandoned pallets from our world-famous shuttered car factories. One sip of Flint Water and you'll know it's the best beer you'll ever taste. It may also be the last beer you'll ever taste, and in that case, why not go out with the very best? Flint Water Beer, the brew for you. Flint Water Brewing Company, Flint, Michigan. Don't drink responsibly, drink Flint Water.
And now, back to the Neanderthals.
It is believed that the Neanderthal tribe got its start in the region now known as Chillicothe, Illinois. Then, as now, nobody outside the area had heard of it, and there was nothing to do there. This undoubtedly helped to start their ongoing lust for a change of scenery. Professor Henrik von McDougall Rodriguez of the University of East Pahrump, a leading expert on the tribe, expands on that theory.
In order to understand the mindset of the Neanderthals and to properly locate its region of origin, one merely has to visit Chillicothe. I mean, my God, you've never seen such a bland place in your entire life. The people are boring, the houses are boring, there's no cultural centers or nightlife to speak of. Hell, there's probably not even more than one convenience store there. Well, what the hell are you supposed to do for fulfillment and fun at a place like that? Stare at the walls?
And so the trek began, first heading northwest into what is now Iowa, finding it just as bland there, then south into what is now Missouri. At this time, the tribe began to expand rapidly, as the adult members of the tribe found the only way they could alleviate their boredom, albeit temporarily. In time, they numbered in the thousands, but this was not to last. Professor von McDougall Rodriguez elaborates.
You would think that a tribe which had grown to that number would have had the sense to finally settle somewhere and thrive, but there is something you'd be overlooking. The members of this tribe were constantly on the move without any real sense of direction in either a literal or figurative sense. So there was no time used or effort made to get themselves or their offspring educated. Thus, they found themselves freezing to death in the winter, scalding in the summer, and constantly devoured by wild animals, 100% of whom were smarter than they were. To put it in modern parlance, they were dumber than a wet bag of rocks, a few bricks shy of a load, a few fries short of a Happy Meal. You get the idea. Just plain stupid.
We will be right back after this word from CCW Labs.
Are you trapped in a bad relationship because you don't want to rock the boat? Are you timid about approaching your boss about that promotion even though you know you would be perfect for the position? Are your children running the house because you are reluctant to discipline them and come across as a big fat meanie? Then you need Grow-A-Set. Grow-A-Set is the all-natural supplement that stimulates the mental processes and hormones that inspire you to take action and reassert your self-worth. One daily dose of Grow-A-Set with lunch and dinner is all you need to go from wallflower to manpower, from wimpy to worthy, from mess to success. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Grow-A-Set today.
Use as directed for oral use only. Excessive use or overdose of Grow-A-Set may cause dizziness, nausea, and an uncontrollable urge to go to monster truck rallies. Keep out of reach of children. Epstein didn't kill himself, neither did Harvey Weinstein or Tulsi Gabbard. If you experience diarrhea or vomiting, stop eating crappy fast food. The makers of Grow-A-Set are not responsible for adverse reactions of people who are using you as a welcome mat. Don't forget to floss. For more information, visit idon'twannabeawimpylittlewinnie.com.
And now, back to the Neanderthals.
Although the Neanderthals have been extinct for millennia, many vestiges of their history remain with us to this very day. Dr. Von McDougall Rodriguez explains this phenomenon.
Because of their constant aimless wandering, the Neanderthals came into frequent contact with more traditional tribes. Now, despite the efforts of the normal tribes to resist, they soon found certain behaviors of the Neanderthals assimilated into their world. It lasts to this very day. Whenever you see someone wander into oncoming traffic while their eyes are riveted on their smartphone screen, shuffling around Walmart for hours and then not taking the extra 10 seconds to return their shopping carts, or simply voting for career politicians over and over again, who then screw them out of their rights over and over again, you can be assured that there is a trace of Neanderthal living on.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. The Neanderthals was produced by the Historical Science Channel in association with Seven Farts Television. Stay tuned to counterculturewise.com for more exciting and informative entertainment.
And we're back.
We are.
We still don't have the lights on, ladies and gentlemen, and sorry about the dogs barking and all heck breaking loose, but we're basically stuck with no entire half of our house. This is the professionalism here at the CCW rental offices.
I am longing for the day when we have a full-blown studio with an actual producer who can can jump up and run and take care of things. This was totally unexpected, folks, and I apologize. But
so we get to spend the night somewhere else.
Yeah,
so many things going on at once. It's always something fun.
So, Motel 6.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that story about Prince is pretty fascinating, and thank you for your patience as we share some of our past oldies but goodies, and we'll head on into more. Well, we've got... Oh, already did all of them. Did them all! Did them all! Let's head on into... Well, we're basically living it right now. Now, see, that's why we can't have nice things. And then me being the professional, I forgot to plug in the headphones. Kill me!
Oh, my God.
It's been a day. Has it ever been a day?
This will go down in history as one of our shows. Anyway.
Not as bad as the first one.
Well, no, the first one was
so
hilarious.
Kindly shared.
Yeah. Hey, he had us dead to rights. It
was bad. That was very bad. But most studios don't have to deal with the lights going out and the AC going out when it's literally 80, 90 degrees and so apologies for our show going sideways. But that's okay, because we only have one audience, and they're not even here today, so there you go.
What? It's okay. We get listeners after the fact, and I think some of our listeners are starting to expect this. Like, they'd be disappointed if something didn't go slightly screwball.
We didn't have squeaky toys and barking and...
Oh, my God. It's time for a business meeting, Melanie.
We're the podcast of the dog lovers now, yeah.
Yeah. Working on it.
All right. Well, you're the one who are going to do a Jimbo Snaps about Roger Waters.
Yes, indeed.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so anybody who is of a certain age will remember a rock opera from Pink Floyd called The Wall. It was...
Hey, teachers, leave them
It was an album, it was a concert extravaganza, and it was eventually a movie with Bob Geldof playing the role of Pink. In every single iteration of this show, when it was performed, Roger Waters would dress up as some kind of a fascist during this one tirade in the song In the Flesh. And it was meant as a satire, okay, of Nazis and fascists and all of that. Well,
and we mean putting them down, not praising them.
Exactly. And even I'm going to start this by saying I don't agree with Roger Waters on a lot of political things. His anti-Israel stance is unbearable to me, but we're going to set that aside for now because
Maybe
first of all,
he is a Nazi.
Yeah. Anyway, Roger Waters is once again facing allegations of anti-Semitism, now leading to a police investigation in Germany.
Where he's
when the
this
police are
exact
investigating you for something you said, it brings back memories, doesn't it? Former Pink Floyd singer donned a costume parodying an SS uniform when he performed In the Flesh.
And it doesn't have any Nazi symbols.
No, it has crossed hammers. Okay, which is the
bang,
trademark
bang
of
hammers.
the trademark of the album, basically. And I know that there are some skinhead groups that use it as a symbol. Whatever, it's not his anyway.
But that was after the fact.
Berlin police then told AFP days later that Waters was being investigated on suspicion of incitement to public hatred due to the outfit, since Germany has laws against anti-Semitism and displaying Nazi imagery. After news of the investigation, Waters, in my opinion justifiably, denounced the bad faith attacks from those who want to smear and silence me because they disagree with my political views and moral principles. Waters also noted the song, as part of Pink Floyd's album The Wall, was written as a satire about fascism, and this was not the first time he'd performed it that way, including in Berlin. By the way, the first Wall show he did after the Wall came down in
at the
Berlin.
Wall.
Hello. The Berlin investigation will continue for 3 months before charges can be made, police said. Waters has long faced claims of anti-Semitism for his pro-Palestine and anti-Israel stances. That's true. On this tour, he projected a number of names of people killed through alleged fascism, including George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Don't go off, Melanie. I know.
Get over it, people.
Waters was criticized for including the names of Anne Frank, who died in the Holocaust, and Shireen Abu Akleh, a Palestinian-American journalist killed last year while covering an Israeli raid in the West Bank. The controversy led to protests over Waters' following shows in Munich and Frankfurt, the latter of which took place at Festhalle, a venue where German Jews were once taken during the November pogroms and which once stored military uniforms. So people are trying to have him canceled. I am so bored with this. I'm so bored with this.
And
it's obvious satire. Now I'm jumping on you. This is obvious satire.
And we've known it for decades.
Who let all this riffraff into the room? There's one smoking a joint, another with spots. If I had my way, I'd have all of you shot. I mean, come on now. It starts out kind of scary. Are there any queers in the audience tonight? That one in the spotlight doesn't look right to me. Throw them up against the wall. And that one looks Jewish, and on and on and on. And that's.
You know what they're going to go after next?
Who? What?
Yellow Submarine. You know damn well they're going to go after the Yellow Submarine.
Are they a bunch of blue meanies now going after the Yellow Submarine?
Well, yeah.
What would be the point in that?
The same thing as going after him. The same symbology, the same mocking. It seems to me that they're pretending. I think what we have going on is a case of reverse psychology. Okay, now walk with me here.
Well, how else would I walk, Melanie?
Ah.
Dua.
But just follow me here, because we're almost at the end of the show, believe it or not. we might owe our listeners another few minutes just because all heck broke loose. So follow me on this. Let's say you worship a certain ideology, which has been vilified throughout history for decades. I mean, approaching 100 years. So even mere mention of that ideology is going to get you in trouble. Okay. So it's kind of like a religion. So what we should do is anybody who mocks our leader, anybody who pokes holes in our religion, anybody who makes fun of our belief system, we should act in mock horror and try to say that they are actually promoting our religion.
Yipe.
Thus, making it so that nobody can mock it, nobody can make fun of it, nobody can even speak of it, so that we can continue to worship our religion in peace and harmony and possibly spread it.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple of religions that do that.
That's true.
And they're a little bit... Well, actually, no. If you think of, the little mustache guy, he actually really liked the cover your women and make people bow down to you and rape small children people. He actually really liked them. He saw a shared ideology with them. They liked racial purity. They liked keeping their women in check. They had a lot of other ideas that he very much agreed with. So it seems to me that if you have a particular religion and you have a particular leader that you look up to, if you basically make it not only illegal, but damaging to anybody who mocks it, just throwing that out there, just planting that little seed, and I'll leave it at that.
I can't believe, okay, this is Germany, it's not the United States, and I know we filter things, well, those of us constitutionalists anyway, look at things through freedom of speech.
This is the big truck.
Yeah.
Germany is doing the overcompensation. Maybe you should explain the big truck theory.
Yeah, would you do that for me, let alone everybody else?
The big white truck theory.
Okay.
Not only am I overcompensating for having an extremely small penis, but I'm also overcompensating for being a bad driver and an asshole.
In
so
Texas,
get out of the way of my big white truck.
In Texas, the big white truck rules the roads.
Yeah.
It's a cliche, but almost every near run-in we've had,
anybody who can't park,
can't drive,
rage.
drives rudely, does road rage, they all seem to share one thing in common.
Giant
a white
truck.
Ram. It could be a Ram, it could be Dodge, it could be F-150 from Ford, it could be...
It's always the giant.
It could
with
be
the
a Chevy or a
GMC,
but it's always... And the brand doesn't matter. The fact is it's a big white truck.
Yeah. And I don't know why it's white, but
That's
think
just the
Germany
thing.
is basically the big white truck.
The big white truck. Okay, now I know what... Now that I have some semblance of context, I can run along with this.
Okay. I want to... we're going to abandon the rest of our Can't Have Nice Things because we are at the end of our show, and I always like to leave... Well, okay, I do want to read this one story just because we want to prove that we make fun of everybody here at Counterculture Wise. So, a well-known sculpture park in South Dakota was vandalized just before the season opening, apparently by intruders who thought that it was maybe Satan.
Didn't we read this one last week?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and repeat it because it's a fun story.
It's a fun story. The base of a bull sculpture, and it is literally just a bull with horns. I mean, okay, I get it. There's like skulls and crazy things around it, so it does kind of look satanic if you really think of it.
Yeah.
The base of a bull sculpture was graffitied with the words "Jesus is King" and "Satan is defeated." And honey, spray painting a statue
already
is
know
not
that,
defeating
but
Satan.
seriously.
Okay, Satan is under your feet. He's not in a statue. And goat-faced guardian skeletons placed around it were beheaded. Okay. The owners of Porter's Sculpture Park say it could take more than a year to repair the damage and other vandalism. So what are the goat head? You know what? They're going to have to explain to me how this isn't satanic, because I'm looking at this sculpture, and it's looking pretty satanic
Are
to
we
me.
looking rather Baphometish? I don't know if I said his name correctly.
Baphometish? Oh, Lordy. They received comments to the effect that the vandalism was justified in the name of God. Hey, Christians, don't make us look like idiots. Come on. You know,
We already have the God Hates Fags gang for that.
Oh, Lord. Don't get me started. And you know, the sad thing is, we think of the whiny, wimpy, blue-haired, pierced, tattoo, pain-in-the-ass, bubble-wrapped millennials that are useless and don't want to work, and that's a huge group stereotype. They think of the Bible thumping in the name of Jesus. You know, we're not all like that. You're not all like that. It's just, come on, people. I mean, but seriously, looking at the display, it does kind of look kind of Baphomet-y. I'm just saying. But hey, fellow Christians, fellow believers, spray painting a statue in the name of Jesus is kind of dumb, okay? Jesus did not die so they just don't worship the dang thing. That's all he's asking, okay?
Yeah.
Don't worship the dang thing. I don't care if it's covered in gold.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all she's saying.
That's
until the
all
next
I'm
thing she
saying.
says.
Until the next thing I say. All right, so let's head on into... Here on Counterculture Wise, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the wonderfuller. All right, this first one belongs to you.
Ah, indeed. And maybe one of these days, one of these will belong to us. That'd be
Dude, I
interesting.
am so in. I'm not even joking. I am all in
well,
on
we
this.
better make sure they're properly wired, unlike
well, there
this
is
place.
that. Okay.
Anyway, a unique
Deal breaker, do we have more than one outlet in a room, and will it not explode when we plug in our CPAP?
What's
Hey,
CPAP?
if there's any lawyers out there, I'm pretty sure we've got a case here.
Yeah. A unique opportunity for a fixer-upper is coming by way of the U.S. General Services Administration, or the good old GSA. 6 historic American lighthouses. Going up this year via public auction, the federal government has a unique way of ensuring lighthouses retain their historic status, which can even involve auctioning them off to private citizens with an affection for the now obsolete structures. Lighthouses are beautiful, attractive pieces of seaside scenery, although perhaps it's a tad difficult to explain why it's almost impossible to find someone not moved by the sight of one.
They're just special. They're a
yeah,
special
they're
part
gorgeous.
Of history.
The U.S. has
Maybe
hundreds
we've
of...
over-romanticized them.
Maybe we have. The U.S. has hundreds of lighthouses that once ensured sailors could safely come into harbor but are now derelict since the invention of GPS technology. The GSA routinely sells off lighthouses to nonprofits interested in conservation, state and local governments, educational agencies, and even federal ones. However, if no buyers come up, the GSA will auction them off to the public at prices ranging from $10,000 to nearly $1 million, reports NPR. Since the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act was passed in 2000, more than 150 lighthouses have been sold or handed over to various organizations. This includes 81 that are now owned by government agencies and nonprofits, and another 70 that have been sold to the public. Costs for upkeep of lighthouses are relative to what the new owner plans to do. The GSA states in a notice of the May 2023 lighthouse season. A total restoration could be thousands of dollars, while a simple cleaning is much less. New owners should expect to have to paint, clean, and possibly restore broken or missing items. Most lighthouses do not have any utilities, so there would be a cost associated with making the lighthouse livable.
It'd be just like living here.
This year, 6 lighthouses are being placed on notice of availability and 4 are going direct to public auction. Should any of the 6 not find owners, they too will be sold to the citizenry. These include the
Wait, I'm confused. So if they're a lighthouse, which means that they need to have electricity for a light, why wouldn't they have utilities?
But they might have just light for the light itself, and then lighting up the general area so that someone could work the lighthouse. There wasn't anybody necessarily living it to live underneath. You have your TV, your refrigerator, and your stuff. Well, I don't know. I ain't been in one, so yeah. Besides, I don't know if all those lights were necessarily powered by electricity. Some of them were like, I don't know. There might have
back
been
in the aughts, they were candles and whatnot. But
right,
come on,
right.
That was a long time ago.
Well, these include Lynn Point Lighthouse, Old Saybrook, Connecticut, Nobska Lighthouse in Falmouth, Woods Hole, Massachusetts, Plymouth Gurnet Lighthouse, Plymouth, Massachusetts, Warwick Necklight, Warwick, Rhode Island, Little Mark Island and Monument, Harpswell, Maine, and Erie Harbor North Pier Lighthouse, Erie, Pennsylvania. Wait a minute! Why ain't there any around here?
Because we're nowhere near the ocean?
That doesn't matter. I want a lighthouse.
Well, then I shall build you a white house, my love.
Thank you.
A white house? A lighthouse.
I knew what you
meant.
meant.
You know what? It's going to be a white lighthouse, just to be racist.
There you go.
It's going to be a white lighthouse.
Okay.
With a barbed wire fence.
Sale to the public will feature the Penfield Reef Lighthouse, Fairfield, Connecticut, Stratford Shoal Light, East Setauket, New York, Cleveland Harbor West Pierhead Light, Cleveland, Ohio. Whoa, one in the Midwest?
What?
And Keweenaw Waterway Lower Entrance Light, Chashel, Mish.
I'm
yeah.
so glad you're pronouncing all those words. Hubbada.
And I'm sober. Chassel, Michigan. People really appreciate the heroic... You got that bloody right. Anyway, people really appreciate the heroic role of the solitary lighthouse keeper. John Kelly of the GSA's Office of Real Property Disposition told AP... They are really the instruments to provide safe passage into some of these perilous harbors, well, they were, which afford communities great opportunities for commerce, and they're often located in prominent locations that offer breathtaking views.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, I would not be averse to living in a lighthouse. I think I would like it. I think I would very much like it.
We didn't have to actually work it. We could turn the lighthouse portion into storage, and you got the Widow's Walk going on there where we could set up a patio, and
we could turn it into a party place.
Ooh.
See, we could make it a wedding venue, a party venue.
Oh, I love the idea of a wedding venue. What great pictures would that be?
Yep.
Yep.
So anyway, let's save the tearjerker for last. And this one belongs to my wife, my sweet Babette.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you get for assigning me to do.
I'm
to
like,
look
all
for
right,
these articles.
Jim, I need you to find a couple of stories to wrap up the show, so we end on a high note. And he's over in the corner going, "I'm gonna make you cry. I'm gonna make you cry."
Literally happened.
Here we go. A 98-year-old dementia patient. Wait, this isn't about the president, is it?
It's about a different 98-year-old dementia patient.
Okay. Well, he looks nice, so I guess it's not about him. And veteran of World War II got to relive his career by riding in a retro ambulance and donning the old uniform, which opened the floodgate of precious memories. Wow. And we're talking old, like it didn't have a woo-woo, it had a ding-ding-ding bell in the front.
It's a very well-preserved 1960s model.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Albert Gibbs, who worked on ambulances in London for a quarter century, was visited by 2 paramedics in a 1960s ambulance wearing I hate it when they write like this. The ambulance was not wearing familiar gray uniforms, okay? The people were wearing the familiar gray uniforms.
Well, the
like
comma
ones
was
he
there. The
used.
comma's there. It's.
It's just written poorly.
Yeah.
Albert Gibbs, who worked on an ambulance in London for a quarter century, was visited by two paramedics in a 1960s ambulance who were wearing familiar gray uniforms just like the ones he used. It looks like the Speedy Mail guy from Mr. Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
They were dispatched to a care home in Essex where Gibbs lived so the great-grandfather could relive his days as a medic. Paramedics Craig Henty and Terrence Thompson, if you're going to be a Terrence, be a Thompson, drove up in an original 1967 Morris Wadham's ambulance complete with period uniforms that instantly took Gibbs right back to the old days when he was based in East London. I wore the same uniform and the same hat, he exclaimed, as his memories sparked details. This is amazing. Why don't we do this more for dementia patients? Here, Biden, sniff this. I remember the days. Yeah.
Please leave him out of this.
Okay. I can't help it. It's just
I know,
low-hanging fruit.
Very
really,
low-hanging
really
fruit.
low-hanging. I recognize your badge. It's from the Northeast sector where I used to work. I was stationed at Ilford, but sometimes also worked in Romford. Oh my gosh, he's remembering all of this. He also recalled some important moments from his 25-year career, saying, I delivered 5 babies and saved a person who fell under a train. Oh my. Elian Detmore Gibbs' daughter said, that was a huge part of my dad's life. It was moving to help him relive it. So beautiful. As he talked and engaged, more memories were coming out. And there is a video, so head on over to Counterculture as dig. Yeah, maybe you'd like to link to that. Before visiting, Craig and Terrence researched the archives from Albert's time at the service through its historic collection and traced thank you letters from patients that Albert had cared for and photos too. The head nurse at the Elizabeth House Care Home, Tracy McGinnis, said that many dementia sufferers can benefit from visual and sensory cues to stimulate their brain and trigger memories of their lives, which keeps their brain engaged and can reduce cognitive decline. So your box of, memories and tchotchkes and whatnot might actually help you as you get older.
It can help me now.
Okay.
It's a bad joke. Sorry.
I don't have the badum chink ready here.
You never know when you're going to need the badum chink. You never know. There you go.
I had a holiday club that people called Gibbs Tours, and I once arranged a weekend in Benidorm and got 43 people to go, including ambulance workers, nurses, doctors, and their families, he said when he saw pictures that included images from a party that he organized. Gibbs also had a cheeky, mischievous side. I had a good time and a lot of laughs at the service, especially when I rang the ambulance bell on the Woolwich ferry. We weren't allowed to do that, but I did it once and then sped down the ferry. It got me into some trouble. He became a medic in 1965 and joined a new London-wide service that was formed when 9 existing ambulance corps merged, uniting nearly 1,000 vehicles and 2,500 staff. Known today as a London Ambulance Service, it was the busiest emergency ambulance service in the world. Craig Henty, a London Ambulance Service paramedic and head of historic collections, said, I sat with Albert in the back of the ambulance for a chat, and it felt as if we had just finished a job together. His mannerism and familiarity with the vehicle are classic of someone who works in an ambulance. He even rested his feet on the rail in front of him, and that's exactly what an ambulance crew would do. I was amazed to see that the experience brought him right back. It's like The Notebook. This is so sweet. If you'd like to donate to the historic collection, which includes horse carriages and blitz ambulances from the Second World War and is maintained entirely by volunteers, you can visit their website, which will also be on our website. The uniforms and vehicles are available for hire to film, TV, cruise, weddings, funerals, and other events. That is brilliant, because they just take the money and put it right back into the... That is just so sweet. That is a wonderful story to end on.
But you're not crying.
Yeah. I'm just... got stuff in the back of my head like, where are we sleeping tonight, and how are you going to hook up to your
my monstrosity?
Yeah.
I'm
your pap smear, and how are you going to
your Pappy Parker machine.
And how terrible was this show overall? Hey folks, I expect many people to fill out the ID10T form this week, and we deserve it. So head on over to counterculturewise.com and drop us some pity support, if you'd be so kind. Buy our crap. And
Buy
let
lots
us
of
know
crap.
if you'd like to be a member of our show.
One of our...
Hey, you want a dog?
Oh, boy.
So, we love you. We'll see you next week. Have an amazing week. God bless.
Counterculture-wise is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, counterculturewise.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on BitChute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, Be a Guest on Our Show.
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.